Hey guys, tonight we're going to take a step back in time and imagine the quiet, often lonely routine of a Victorian lighthouse keeper. Picture this: the sound of the ocean roaring, the steady beat of your footsteps echoing off cold, damp stone as you ascend the narrow, winding steps of a lighthouse, the only light around you coming from the fading stars above. You're on a cliff by yourself, surrounded by the restless sea. The only company you'll have tonight? The wind, the waves, and the warmth of the lantern you'll tend to, all while guarding countless souls from the dangers of the rocks below. You probably won't survive this job without developing a few odd habits, but then again, life on a lighthouse was never meant to be glamorous. So, before you get comfortable, take a moment to like the video and subscribe, but only if you genuinely enjoy what I do here. I'd love to hear where you're tuning in from, so drop your location and the local time in the comments. Now dim the lights, maybe turn on a fan for that soft background hum, and let's ease into tonight's journey together. The life of a Victorian lighthouse keeper is one of silence and solitude. Rising before the crack of dawn, the keeper's first task is to rouse the tower from its slumber. He steps out of his small, humble quarters, his boots scraping across the wooden floor as he moves toward the steep staircase. It's a climb he's made countless times, and yet, each time, there's a certain weight to it. The cold stone beneath his feet, the distant howl of the wind outside, and the dark, empty tower that waits for him at the top. Up he climbs, one foot after the other, the only light coming from the soft glow of the lantern still flickering in the distance. The stairs creak beneath his weight, and every step feels like a minor victory. You can imagine how the climb must feel, a slow, laborious journey toward the beacon of hope that will soon illuminate the sea. But it's not just the climb that's difficult, it's the task at hand. The light must be tended to constantly, a responsibility that never lets up. The keeper is both the protector and the guardian, watching over the ships that pass by and ensuring that no one gets lost in the night. He finally reaches the top, his breath slightly ragged, but he's ready. The morning will soon begin, and with it, another long day at the lighthouse. The day begins with the same ritual, the climb. But as you ascend the steep, spiraling staircase toward the lighthouse's top, there's a sense of purpose that drives you. The first slivers of dawn are creeping over the horizon, and you know the light will soon need to be rekindled, bright and unwavering. Each step creaks under your boots, the sound of the old stone walls giving way to your presence. The air feels colder as you rise higher, but the warmth of the lantern ahead is a welcome promise. You grip the iron railings, the metal chilled against your palm, and press on. Once you reach the top, the first task of the day is lighting the great beacon. The vast, open view stretches out before you, the endless sea and sky blending into a haze of gray and blue. The light is the keeper's responsibility, an ever-watchful guardian over those lost at sea, and it's not something to be taken lightly. The keeper goes through the motions with precision, checking the fuel, adjusting the flame, ensuring that the light burns bright and true. It's almost a meditative process, the act of tending to the flame. You must concentrate on the mechanics of it all, the constant adjustments needed to keep the fire steady, the vigilant eye on the lens to ensure the light shines through the lens perfectly. The mechanical hum of the gears is soft but steady, a familiar sound that provides a kind of comfort as you begin your day. Each flick of the wick and twist of the dial brings you closer to your goal, providing safety and direction to any sailor who dares to venture near these dangerous waters. Historians still argue whether the first lighthouse keepers of ancient times used oil lamps or open fires, but there's no question about the importance of the task. For centuries, lighthouse keepers have had to ensure that their light remained steady, even on the most tumultuous of nights. The beacon isn't just a light, it's a lifeline. The day ahead will be full of maintenance. The light needs to be polished, the lenses cleaned, and the keeper's log updated. But before the keeper can relax for his first break, he must first descend the steps and check on the rest of the tower. It's a task that requires a careful eye, as every part of the structure must be well maintained to keep it standing strong against the elements. The weather can be harsh on the cliffs. Salt water from the sea mingles with wind, rusting metal and eroding stone. It's a battle between nature and man, but the lighthouse has always withstood the test of time. As the keeper makes his way down the tower's narrow corridors, he pauses to ensure that the surrounding windows are clean, free of the salt crust left by the relentless sea breeze. Every small detail counts. The work is repetitive, yet it's what keeps everything running smoothly. A sense of rhythm is built into each motion, each task, like the ticking of a clock. Everything must be in its place. In the early afternoon, the keeper finally has a moment to sit down and eat a simple meal. He opens his tin of salted beef and hardtack, a basic, hearty meal that's as much a part of his life as the lighthouse itself. Sitting alone in his small quarters, the keeper can hear the waves crashing against the rocks below. The stillness of the place is almost oppressive. It's a kind of solitude that settles into your bones and feels permanent, but it's also peaceful. The lighthouse keeper has only the rhythm of his tasks and the sound of the sea for company. And yet, there's a certain tranquility in this. During this time, the keeper also checks the weather again. He pulls out his weather instruments, the barometer, the anemometer, the logs from the previous night's watch. The sky is growing darker, and the wind is picking up. The storm is coming, but it's no surprise. The sea is never still, and a keeper's job isn't complete without keeping an eye on the elements. By late afternoon, it's time to climb the tower again. The light needs another check. The lamp is dimming, the oil needs refilling, and the lens has gathered dust. The wind howls louder as the storm approaches. The keeper ascends, almost instinctively, prepared for whatever comes next. It's a job of preparation, vigilance, and repetition, each day blending into the next. This quiet rhythm is the keeper's life. There's a rhythm to the lighthouse, a kind of dance between man and nature, with the tower standing as a silent sentinel in the ever-changing landscape of wind, salt, and stone. The storm clouds gather, but the keeper is ready. The light is steady, his post is secure, and the beacon will shine, as it has for hundreds of years before him. It's a simple existence, really, but in its simplicity lies an unspoken promise. The lighthouse will always be there, its light unwavering, and the keeper will be ready, each and every day. The day stretches on, the keeper's vigilance unwavering, but as night begins to approach, the routine deepens into a quiet, almost meditative rhythm. The sun sets behind the horizon, leaving behind a sky painted in shades of red and purple, and the keeper knows that soon the light must be kindled once more. But as he finishes his chores, there's a brief moment of respite. He steps outside for a breath of fresh air, allowing the sea breeze to cool his tired face. The waves crash against the rocks below, and the sound of seagulls calls from above. The salt air feels sharp against his skin, yet soothing all at once. It's a brief escape from the isolated, repetitive life of the lighthouse. For this moment, he is just a man standing at the edge of the world, watching the ocean stretch endlessly before him. There's a brief sense of peace before the responsibilities of the night descend upon him again. But before long, the keeper must return to the tower. The wind picks up again, the air growing thicker, and the sound of the ocean grows more violent, as though warning of the storm to come. The keeper gathers his resolve and makes the climb back up the winding staircase. The familiar sound of his boots on the stone steps is like a metronome marking the time, each footfall a reminder of the endless hours he spends alone in this isolated tower. It's a sound that has become almost comforting, as though each step brings him closer to his purpose. At the top of the lighthouse, the keeper checks the beacon once more. The wind outside howls against the stone walls, and the rain begins to fall in heavy sheets. The light flickers in the growing storm, but the keeper quickly adjusts it, ensuring that the beam will pierce through the darkness, guiding ships safely away from the jagged rocks below. The storm rages outside, but the light remains constant, a steady presence in the chaos. Historians still argue whether the fear of being lost at sea was the most terrifying aspect of sailing during the Victorian era, or whether the solitary lives of lighthouse keepers were more daunting. There's something undeniably terrifying about being trapped in a tower, with nothing but the relentless storm and the vast, unfathomable sea surrounding you. Yet, the keeper takes pride in his role, in the duty of guiding others, no matter how alone or distant he may be. As the night deepens, the keeper keeps a careful watch, checking the light every few hours, ensuring that it remains strong and steady. The hours drag on slowly, but there's a certain comfort in the routine. The lighthouse keeper knows what to expect. It's the same every night, polishing the lens, checking the light, maintaining the equipment, and standing watch over the dark expanse of sea. The storm outside intensifies, and the wind rattles the windows of the tower, but the keeper knows that his job is far from over. This is the crucial time, the hours between the twilight and dawn, when the light is needed most. This is when lives are saved, when sailors make their final decisions, and when the keeper's vigilance is at its peak. At times like this, the keeper is reminded of the lives he watches over. They are out there somewhere, in the dark, navigating by the light that he tends to. He thinks of the distant families waiting for their loved ones to return, of the sailors who trust this flickering light to guide them safely home. It's a humbling thought, one that keeps him grounded in his work. As midnight approaches, the keeper adjusts the flame again. The light burns steadily, casting long shadows on the stone walls of the tower. The storm outside continues to rage, but the keeper remains calm, his mind focused on the task at hand. The lighthouse may be a solitary place, but in the darkness of the night, it stands as a beacon of hope, unwavering against the storm. And so, the night continues. The minutes blend into hours, the rain falls in a steady rhythm, and the keeper remains at his post. The work is exhausting, the isolation overwhelming, but there's a certain rhythm to it, and as long as the light burns, there is purpose in the silence. The clock ticks toward the early hours of the morning, and with each passing minute, the keeper's focus sharpens. The storm continues to thrash against the tower, the wind now howling in fury as the rain slashes sideways against the windows. Inside, the lighthouse keeper makes his rounds once again, ensuring everything is in order. His eyes flicker briefly to the outside world, the endless sea stretching before him, black and unyielding, swallowed by the night. Each passing wave is a reminder of the ever-present power of the ocean, a force that could easily devour anything caught in its path. But the lighthouse stands firm. Through wind, rain, and storms, the light must continue to shine, guiding ships safely through the chaos. The keeper adjusts the flame once more, the flicker of the fire casting a warm glow on his face, offering some comfort against the storm's brutal onslaught. Historians still argue whether the Victorian lighthouse keepers, isolated and often facing brutal weather, truly felt the weight of their duty, or whether they simply grew accustomed to it. Some say the solitude and routine became second nature, while others suggest that the relentless isolation wore on the keeper's mind, sometimes leaving them to battle their own demons while they battled the elements. Regardless, there is little doubt that the job required dedication, focus, and an unwavering commitment to those who relied on the lighthouse's light. As the storm rages outside, the keeper feels it in his bones. The chill of the damp air seeps in, the wind pushes against the tower, and the crashing waves outside are a constant reminder of the power of nature. But still he stands tall. Every few hours, the keeper makes his rounds to the beacon, keeping watch, ensuring the light shines brightly and clearly through the night's chaos. It's a job that never ends, a constant cycle of vigilance and maintenance, but he knows his duty, and he will not falter. The quiet of the tower settles around him once again as he takes a moment to sit, leaning against the stone walls for a brief respite. In this isolated place, there is little to do except think. And yet, for the keeper, there is little more important than the duty he performs. Each night blends into the next, but each night also carries with it the weight of responsibility. As he looks out over the sea, he wonders if the sailors will see the light tonight, if the beam will lead them safely past the dangerous rocks below. It's moments like these that give the keeper pause. The small human connection between him and those on the ships, separated by distance but connected by the light, gives him a sense of purpose, no matter how lonely or tiresome the hours may feel. Though the keeper may be alone in his tower, he is never truly alone in his mind. His thoughts stretch out across the water, thinking of those out there navigating the storm, relying on his beacon to find their way. As the hours drag on, the keeper begins to feel the fatigue settle in. The night is long, and the storm doesn't seem to be letting up, but he knows the drill. It's an endless cycle of maintenance and vigilance, checking the light, polishing the lens, adjusting the flame, and making sure everything runs smoothly. The keeper has learned to find comfort in the rhythm of the work. It's the same every night, the same pattern of light and dark, storm and calm. And yet, no matter how many nights the keeper spends in the tower, the work never feels any less important. There is a sense of pride in his role, even if it goes unnoticed by the world outside. He is the silent protector of sailors, the unseen hand guiding them safely through the storm. His job may be lonely and difficult, but the lives it saves are worth every ounce of effort. As the storm rages on, the keeper stands tall. The light continues to burn brightly, unwavering in the face of the tempest. The job is never over, but the keeper knows this is his duty, his calling. It's not just a job, it's a way of life. And as long as the light burns, he will be here, standing watch over the vast, unforgiving sea. As the storm howls outside and the waves crash violently against the cliffs below, the keeper stands alone at the top of the lighthouse, his eyes trained on the distant horizon. The light continues to burn steadily, a beacon of safety in the midst of chaos, but even the brightest light can sometimes feel small when faced with the vastness of the storm. It's in moments like this, when the wind howls and the rain comes down in torrents, that the isolation of the job feels the heaviest. The keeper is, in a sense, suspended between two worlds: the land behind him, cold and silent, and the dark, endless sea before him. His job is solitary, and the weight of responsibility often feels like it could crush him, but he pushes the thoughts aside. His duty is simple: maintain the light, keep it steady, and guide the ship safely through the night. Historians often argue whether this isolation was the true cost of the job, or if it was the responsibility that weighed most heavily on the keeper's shoulders. After all, a keeper's job wasn't just about turning a crank or lighting a lamp. It was about bearing the weight of countless lives, lives that depended on the keeper's attention to detail and his unwavering commitment to ensuring the light never went out. For the keeper, there is no room for error. No matter how harsh the storm or how exhausting the hours, the light must never falter. He can't afford to fall asleep at his post, even if fatigue weighs heavily on his bones. He can't afford to miss a single maintenance check, no matter how mundane or repetitive the task. The lighthouse is a machine, and the keeper is the one responsible for making sure it runs smoothly. But there are moments, in the quiet between the chaos, when the keeper allows himself a small moment of reflection. As he checks the light again, as he adjusts the flame just so, he can't help but wonder about the lives he's affecting. He knows there are sailors out there, far off in the distance, relying on his light to guide them through the storm. It's a thought that brings him some comfort, and it's what keeps him going, even when the hours are long and the isolation is deafening. The clock ticks steadily onward, the minutes turning into hours. The storm outside shows no sign of relenting, but the keeper is steadfast in his duties. He climbs the stairs again, checking the light, wiping down the glass, making sure that every inch of the tower is in working order. The rain pelts against the windows with an almost rhythmic persistence, but inside, the keeper remains focused on his task. By now, the fatigue is beginning to take its toll. His muscles ache from the long hours of climbing the stairs and maintaining the light. His eyes feel heavy, but he can't afford to rest. Not yet. There's still work to be done. The storm will pass, but it's his responsibility to ensure that the light continues to burn bright throughout the night. The wind begins to howl even louder as the storm intensifies, but the keeper holds steady. He knows that there will be other nights like this, other storms, other challenges, but this is his duty, and he will not falter. His work is repetitive, yes, but it's also vital. Without the keeper, the lighthouse would be nothing more than a dark tower, lost in the night, and the ships that pass by would have no guidance. As the hours drag on and the storm rages outside, the keeper grows weary, but there's a quiet resolve in his heart, one that comes from years of dedication to this solitary job. He climbs the steps again, this time with a sense of purpose. The storm will eventually pass, the sea will calm, and the sun will rise again. But until then, he is the keeper of the light, and his duty is to ensure that the beacon continues to shine. The night drags on, but the keeper doesn't stop. He tends to the light, checks the equipment, and makes sure that everything is in order. Each task is a reminder of his purpose, of the lives he watches over, of the responsibility he bears. He is the lighthouse keeper, and this is the life he has chosen: lonely, exhausting, and often thankless, but it is a life of unwavering duty. The storm may rage, but the keeper remains steadfast. The light will shine, no matter the cost. As the hours stretch toward the early morning, the storm outside begins to lose its fury, the wind weakening and the rain softening into a light drizzle. The keeper, weary but still resolute, steps away from the flame for a brief moment. He looks out into the dark expanse before him. The sea, now calmer, stretches endlessly beneath the fading clouds. There's a sense of relief in the air, a quiet promise that the worst has passed. But the keeper knows better than to let his guard down. Even as the storm recedes, his duties remain the same. The light must continue to burn brightly, steady, and unwavering until the morning sun rises to take its place. His job is never truly over. The lighthouse keeper's life is built on the foundation of constant vigilance and unceasing work. There is no pause, no finality, just the endless rhythm of the days blending together into one continuous cycle. As the wind dies down and the sky lightens, the keeper takes a moment to reflect on the work he's done. He's maintained the light, stood watch over the sea, and guided countless ships through the night. It's a quiet satisfaction, the knowledge that he has played a part, even if unseen, in the safety of others. The weight of the responsibility can sometimes be overwhelming, but in the stillness of the morning, with the storm behind him, there's peace in the routine. But the lighthouse keeper's life is one of solitude. The quiet moments are rare, fleeting, and always interrupted by another task. The keeper's solitude is never truly a rest. There's always more to be done. After a few moments of quiet reflection, he climbs the stairs once again. The light needs another check. The hours have passed, and the machinery, though sturdy, still requires maintenance. The lamp needs to be cleaned, the lens polished, and the oil levels topped up. Historians still debate how the early lighthouse keepers managed such isolation. Was it a life of loneliness and quiet desperation, or one of stoic dedication? Did the solitude breed deep reflection, or did it wear away at the keeper's sanity? We'll never truly know. What we do know, however, is that lighthouse keepers were often the unsung heroes of the Victorian coastline. Their lives, though solitary and repetitive, were essential to the safety of the ships that sailed in and out of the treacherous waters. As the keeper tends to his duties once more, he hears the soft sounds of the waves crashing against the rocks far below. The quiet is a welcome change from the earlier chaos, and the storm feels like a distant memory. The light is steady, the lighthouse strong, and the keeper is ready for whatever the next night may bring. By the time dawn begins to break, the keeper has completed his final rounds. The light burns brightly, the tower is secure, and all is as it should be. He watches as the first rays of sunlight break over the horizon, painting the sky in shades of pink and gold. It's a sight that never grows old, a daily reminder that the storm has passed and that the lighthouse keeper's work is, for now, done. But the keeper knows this moment of peace will be short-lived. The next night will come, bringing with it another storm, another responsibility, another night alone in the tower. The life of a lighthouse keeper is never finished. It is a constant cycle of watchfulness and maintenance. There is no retirement, no break. The work goes on, and so does the keeper's duty. As the sun rises higher and the first ship of the day sails past the lighthouse, the keeper steps back from the light. His work is done for now, but he knows that when the day fades and the darkness returns, he will once again climb those stairs, light the beacon, and keep watch over the sea. For the keeper, it's a life that is, at its core, about duty. A life that requires sacrifice and solitude, but also one that offers the quiet satisfaction of knowing that his work is vital to the safety of others. It's a life spent in the service of something greater than himself, and for that, he remains steadfast, ready to answer the call each and every day. As the day settles in, the keeper finds himself at a rare moment of stillness. The sunlight streams through the windows, casting soft beams across the stone floor of the tower. There is no storm, no immediate task that demands his attention. For the first time in hours, the lighthouse feels almost peaceful. The constant hum of duty, the never-ending responsibilities of the night shift, seem a distant memory. The keeper breathes a little easier, allowing himself a rare moment to simply observe. The sea, now calm and reflecting the bright blue sky, stretches endlessly before him. In these quiet moments, the keeper is reminded of the vastness of the ocean. It's a force of nature that humbles him, uncharted waters, hidden dangers, and the vast expanse of the world beyond his small tower. He is but one man, standing watch over this infinite stretch of sea. It's a sobering thought, but also a reassuring one. His light has a purpose, and his watch is necessary. The keeper gazes out, allowing his mind to wander for a moment. He's lived a life of service, of repetition, and yet there's a deep satisfaction in this routine. Historians debate whether the lighthouse keeper's life was one of deep reflection or quiet stagnation, but the keeper knows his own truth. There is peace in the work, even if it is solitary. The work itself becomes a meditation, a steady rhythm that marks the passage of time. It's this rhythm that keeps him grounded, even in the most challenging of storms. But as the sun climbs higher, the keeper remembers that his respite is short. The job of a lighthouse keeper never ends. His duties may be quiet now, but they will pick up again as dusk falls and the night arrives. The light must be tended to, the machinery checked, the records updated. Even in this moment of peace, there is a constant hum of work that waits in the wings. And then there's the loneliness. The keeper's solitude is both a blessing and a burden. While the quiet offers space for reflection and rest, it also creates a sense of isolation. It's a kind of solitude that wears on the mind. The keeper has no companions in the tower, no fellow keepers, no family to share a meal with, no visitors to break the silence. The isolation is his constant companion, a weight he carries with him every day. Historians often wonder how the keeper's mind holds up under such extreme isolation. Was it the quiet that brought clarity, or did it sometimes become unbearable? How many men stood in those same shoes, gazing out at the sea, wondering when they would finally have a reprieve from the solitude? While there's no definitive answer, the keeper knows that his mind, though tested, has found comfort in his routines. The lighthouse is his home now, and though it may be lonely, it is his duty. As the day draws to a close, the keeper climbs the tower one more time. The light needs to be checked, the logs updated, and the tower prepared for the night. The routine is familiar, comforting even, but it's never easy. Each night brings a new challenge. The storm could return, the light could fail, or the waves could rise higher than expected. The keeper can never truly relax. But there is peace in knowing his role. He reaches the top of the tower once again. The lanterns burn bright, their steady glow lighting the path for sailors lost in the night. The keeper adjusts the flame, ensuring it's steady and true. The light is his responsibility, and he will see it through, no matter the cost. The storm may return, but as long as the keeper is there, the light will never falter. For the lighthouse keeper, this is his purpose. It's not a glamorous life, and it's not a life without sacrifice, but it is a life dedicated to something greater than himself. In the silence of the tower, with the sea stretching endlessly before him, the keeper knows that his work is essential, even if it goes unnoticed by the world. His duty is to the light, to the sea, and to the sailors who rely on him. And so, the night continues. The keeper remains steadfast, the light burning bright as the waves crash against the rocks below. It is a simple life, yes, but it is a life of service and purpose. As long as the light shines, the keeper will stand watch, ready for whatever the night may bring. The hours roll by, the night deepening as the keeper's work continues. The storm has finally passed, but the sea remains restless, its waves crashing rhythmically against the rocks below. The lighthouse keeper remains in his tower, watching over the calm yet unpredictable waters, never fully letting his guard down. It's not a life of rest, it's a life of constant vigilance, where every moment spent at his post matters, and every flicker of light could mean the difference between life and death for those who sail these waters. As the moon rises higher in the sky, casting a silver glow over the dark sea, the keeper feels the weight of another long night settling in. His muscles ache from the hours of climbing, cleaning, and tending to the light, but he knows he has no choice but to keep going. The rhythm of the work, the steady and repetitive tasks, is what has kept him sane during the long years of isolation. There's a certain peace in it, a predictability that shields him from the chaotic thoughts that might otherwise intrude. Historians still argue about the psychological toll the job took on lighthouse keepers. Some suggest that the extreme isolation and the monotony of the work led to intense loneliness and, in some cases, madness. Others claim that the work itself, while solitary, offered a kind of clarity, a space to think deeply without the distractions of the outside world. Regardless, the keeper knows that this is his life. The lighthouse is his world, and the sea, with its endless expanse, is his constant companion. The keeper knows that without him, the light would go out. The shipwrecks, the lives lost to the sea, would be his responsibility. The weight of this knowledge never leaves him. It's a burden he carries every day, every night, but it's a burden that also gives his life meaning. As long as he stands watch, the light will continue to shine, guiding those who are lost. And that thought, that quiet sense of duty, is what keeps him going. There's something calming about the quiet. Even as the storm passes, there's always a certain stillness in the tower, an eerie kind of peace. The sound of the waves, now gentler, still fills the air, a reminder of the world outside. The lighthouse keeper looks out through the window, watching the dark horizon, waiting for any sign of life. The sea is vast, and the night is long, but he is ready. He's always ready. As he makes another round to check the light, the keeper can't help but wonder about the sailors out there, somewhere in the distance, trusting in his beacon to guide them home. It's a thought that brings him a small sense of comfort. His work is far from glamorous, and it's not a life most would choose, but in these quiet moments, with the lighthouse shining steadfast against the dark, there is a sense of purpose. The light, his light, is more than just a beacon, it's a lifeline. And so, the hours stretch on, the keeper continuing his solitary vigil. The tasks are repetitive, the nights long, and the isolation heavy. But in the quiet solitude of the lighthouse, there is a sense of calm that settles over the keeper. He is a part of something bigger than himself. His work may go unnoticed, but it's vital nonetheless. The lighthouse stands as a symbol of safety, of hope, and of the unwavering dedication of those who tend to it. The wind has died down, and the sea, though restless, seems a little calmer. The keeper knows the worst has passed, but he can never be complacent. There will always be another storm, another night, another responsibility. The job of the lighthouse keeper never ends. It is a life of endless service, a life of vigilance, and above all, a life of purpose. The light continues to burn brightly, cutting through the darkness of the night, a steady, unwavering presence in the vast, endless sea. The keeper stands watch, knowing that no matter what comes, the light will guide the lost, and he will be there, ready to keep it burning. It's a simple life, but it's a life of meaning. As the night stretches into the early morning hours, the keeper finds himself in familiar territory, though the solitude of the tower never feels less profound. The silence between the tasks becomes a constant companion, and while it may be comforting at times, it also serves as a reminder of his isolation. The sea is still, the storm has passed, but the waves continue their rhythmic crash against the rocks below. There is a steady calm, but there's also the faint, nagging thought of how the winds can pick up again, how the storms might return. The keeper has seen this pattern before. It's as much a part of his life as the lighthouse itself, the constant ebb and flow of calm and chaos. The sea and the sky, unpredictable and dangerous, are never far from his mind. But at this hour, in the quiet of the tower, there is a sense of peace. The light remains steady, the lens polished and bright, and the flame that guides the ships continues to burn without hesitation. Historians still debate the emotional toll that a lighthouse keeper's life took on their mental state. Was the isolation an opportunity for reflection, or was it a slow, draining process that wore down their resolve? The keeper never spoke much about it. His duty was his priority, and the rest of the world seemed distant, separated by miles of ocean. Perhaps it was best that way. Perhaps the isolation provided the clarity needed to focus on the singular task at hand. Yet, in moments like these, when the tower is still and the sea stretches out endlessly before him, the keeper can't help but feel a certain sense of awe. The sky is vast, the sea even more so, and he, a solitary figure at the top of the tower, is a small part of it all. It's a humbling experience, knowing that his existence, his very purpose, is tied to something far larger than himself. The ships that pass by, the sailors who rely on his light, they are far away, just specks on the horizon, but he is the one who ensures they make it safely to their destination. And in this solitude he finds solace. It's the kind of peace that comes from knowing you are doing exactly what you are meant to do. The lighthouse keeper's job is not glamorous. It's not a life that draws crowds or brings accolades, but it is essential. The lives of sailors, of those who traverse these waters, depend on his care. The light he tends to may be small in comparison to the vastness of the sea, but it is a lifeline. a promise that someone is watching, guiding them through the storm. As the dawn breaks slowly on the horizon, casting a soft golden light over the ocean, the keeper can feel a quiet satisfaction. The first light of morning brings with it a sense of accomplishment. Another night has passed, another watch kept, and the lighthouse still stands strong. There is something comforting in the constancy of it all. The keeper may be alone, but he is never truly solitary. His purpose, his job, connects him to something greater, a never-ending cycle of light and darkness, of calm and storm, of duty and rest. The morning brings no rest for the keeper, of course. There are always more tasks to be done. The light may be steady, but the machinery requires constant care. The lighthouse must be maintained, the records updated, and the equipment checked. The day is no different from the night in this regard. The work never ends, but that's the way it is, and the keeper has long since accepted it. As the first rays of sunlight peek over the horizon, the keeper takes one last look out over the sea. The storm has passed, the night is over, and he has done his duty. The light has shone through the darkest hours, guiding those who needed it. Now, with the dawn breaking and the ship safely past, the keeper steps away from the light, his work for the night done. For now, the lighthouse keeper is alone again, but not truly. In this tower, this guardian of the sea, he remains connected to the rhythm of the waves, to the eternal flow of time and tides. As long as the light burns, he will stand watch. And the cycle will continue night after night, storm after storm, always vigilant, always steadfast. As the day stretches on and the keeper's work continues, the solitude of the lighthouse begins to feel like a blanket, enveloping him in its quiet embrace. The waves still crash against the rocks below, but there's a calm in the air now. The storm has passed, and the light remains steady, a beacon of hope in the stillness of the morning. The keeper moves around the tower, his steps slow and deliberate, checking the equipment, ensuring everything is in order. The sun climbs higher in the sky, casting long shadows across the tower's stone floor. The quiet hum of the machinery is the only sound, a constant presence in the background as the keeper goes about his tasks. It's a repetitive cycle, but it's one that has become second nature to him. The job is simple, in its nature: tend to the light, maintain the tower, watch over the sea, but it's in the details that the keeper finds his purpose. The lighthouse may be an old, weathered structure, but it's his. It's his responsibility to ensure that it stands tall, that the light shines brightly, guiding the sailors home. Historians still argue whether the isolation of lighthouse keeping was a soul-crushing experience or whether it offered a kind of clarity and peace that few other jobs could provide. The keeper's experience is one of quiet reflection. The isolation can be heavy, but it's also a chance to think, to clear the mind, to focus on the task at hand without distraction. The world beyond the lighthouse is far away, and in this solitude, the keeper can think about nothing but the steady rhythm of his work. The first mate of a ship might look out and see the lighthouse in the distance, a steady beacon cutting through the night. They might not think twice about it. They might only see it as a marker, a sign that they are nearing safety. But for the keeper, that light is his life's work. It's his purpose, and he tends to it as carefully as one would care for a child, nurturing it with unwavering dedication. It is a light that never falters, never dims, and that consistency brings a quiet comfort to the keeper's heart. The ship's crew may never know the keeper's name, nor will they understand the isolation that comes with the job. They will sail past, grateful for the light, and continue on their journey. But for the keeper, that moment of connection is everything. For a brief moment, as the light guides the ship safely through the night, the keeper's work has meaning. He is not alone in his duty. He is part of something bigger, a lifeline, a beacon in the darkness. As the keeper tends to his final rounds, making sure every piece of equipment is functioning properly, he feels a sense of fulfillment. The lighthouse is still standing, the light still shines, and the sea is calm once again. It's moments like these, when everything is in order and the tower feels like a place of peace, that the keeper allows himself to relax just for a moment. The exhaustion still lingers in his bones, but the quiet satisfaction of a job well done is enough to carry him through the day. The cycle of his life will continue. Another night will come, another storm may rise, and he will stand watch once more. The keeper knows this, and though it is a life of solitude, it is also one of purpose. Every night the light must burn. Every night the keeper must be ready. The work may never end, but in the constancy of his duties, he finds a kind of peace. The lighthouse stands firm against the storm, and so does he. As the day gives way to evening and the sky turns to dusky purple, the keeper's job is far from over. The light needs to be checked, the logs updated, and the machinery kept in prime condition. But the keeper does not resent this. It is his duty, his calling, and it has become a part of him. He moves through the motions with quiet efficiency, content in the knowledge that he is providing a vital service to those who sail the dark waters. For the lighthouse keeper, life is measured in the steady rhythms of the work, the climb up the stairs, the cleaning of the lens, the tending of the light. There's comfort in this repetition, a sense of stability in knowing exactly what is expected of him. The lighthouse may be solitary and the hours may be long, but in the work, the keeper finds meaning. The lighthouse stands as a beacon to the world, but to the keeper, it is home. His purpose is clear. He will continue to tend the light, night after night, never wavering, always steadfast. And with every hour, every task, every moment of solitude, he is reminded that this life, though quiet and solitary, is the one he was meant to lead. The light will shine as long as he stands watch. As the night begins to fall once more, the keeper ascends the winding staircase of the tower, the weight of another long day heavy on his shoulders. He pauses at the top, catching his breath for a moment as he looks out over the sea. The moon is full tonight, casting a silvery glow across the water. The night is peaceful, almost serene, but the keeper knows better than to relax too much. The calm sea can change in an instant, and he must remain alert. There is always the possibility of a storm, always the chance that something could go wrong. His job, though monotonous, is vital. The lighthouse is not just a structure, it is a promise to the sailors out there in the dark, to those who trust the beam of light to guide them safely. The keeper adjusts the light once more, ensuring it burns brightly, a beacon that will reach across the waves. The hum of the machinery is soothing, almost hypnotic, as the keeper checks the lens and the fuel supply. It's a task that requires careful attention, but it's one he's grown used to. It's his duty, his responsibility, and he will continue to do it as long as he's needed. Historians often wonder if lighthouse keepers ever felt truly connected to the world outside the tower. With such isolation, it's hard to imagine they didn't sometimes feel forgotten. The keeper has spent countless nights alone in this tower, with nothing but the sound of the wind and the waves for company. Yet, he knows that his role is crucial. The lighthouse is the only thing standing between the ships and the treacherous rocks below. The work may be solitary, but it is vital. As the keeper surveys the light one more time, his gaze turns toward the horizon. The sea is calm tonight, but he knows it can change in an instant. The ocean is a powerful force, capable of unpredictable violence. It's a reminder that his job, while routine, is never without danger. The keeper must remain vigilant, never allowing the light to falter, never allowing himself to grow complacent. The night stretches on, the keeper moving through his duties with quiet efficiency. The wind picks up slightly, but the storm seems far away for now. The keeper feels a sense of comfort in the predictability of his work, the routine that has become his life. It is a simple life, yes, but it is one that holds meaning. The light is his responsibility, and he will tend to it with unwavering dedication. As the hours pass and the darkness deepens, the keeper checks the machinery once more. There's always more to be done, even as the night stretches on. The work of a lighthouse keeper is never done. It's a job of endless maintenance, constant vigilance, but there's a certain peace in knowing that he's fulfilling his purpose. The light will guide the ship's home, and he will continue to ensure that it burns steadily, unwavering against the dark. The calm sea below, the steady light, the solitude, it all forms the rhythm of the keeper's life. He may be alone in the tower, but he is never truly alone in his work. His light is a lifeline, a promise to those who sail the dangerous waters below, and as long as he stands watch, the light will never falter. As the keeper finishes his rounds and settles into his routine, he feels the weight of the night settle in. It's a long, quiet watch, but it's one he is used to. The work is demanding, but the sense of purpose it provides is worth every bit of effort. The lighthouse stands strong, and the keeper remains at his post, ready for whatever the night may bring. As the clock ticks forward, the keeper knows this life will continue night after night, year after year. The work is never finished, and the lighthouse will always need tending. But for the keeper, that's the way it should be. This is his duty, and he will continue to serve, to keep the light shining as long as he is needed. The stillness of the night begins to settle in, and the keeper, despite the long hours and the mounting fatigue, finds solace in the regularity of his work. His eyes, tired yet steady, move from the glowing beacon back to the horizon. The sea, now silent under the moon's reflection, stretches far beyond what he can see. He has witnessed countless storms and clear nights from this very spot, his sense of time defined by the rhythm of the lighthouse rather than the ticking of any clock. Historians often muse over the nature of time for lighthouse keepers. Without the typical markers, no social events, no bustling towns around them, no clock in the usual sense, it is easy to imagine the days slipping into one another, an endless cycle of isolation, routine, and reflection. To the keeper, each night feels both timeless and urgent. The lighthouse stands as a constant, a fixture in the night, but for him, it's a job of ever-present awareness, where nothing can be taken for granted. His task is far from glamorous, but it's one that demands utmost precision. As the keeper takes a moment to check his notes and adjust the equipment, the quiet of the lighthouse offers a brief respite. The wind no longer howls, and the rain has stopped. The light, once again, stands steady. A sigh escapes him, a small but meaningful release of the pressure that builds over hours spent in solitude. But even in this silence, there is work to do. His job has no end, and the night will eventually give way to morning, and with it, a new set of duties. The lighthouse keeper knows that as the tide changes, so too will his tasks. The sea does not wait for the keeper to rest, and neither does his responsibility. In the early hours of the morning, the sky begins to shift. The first hints of dawn creep over the horizon, turning the sky from deep black to a soft gradient of purple and blue. The keeper knows that the night's work is coming to an end. For a brief moment, he looks out over the sea one last time, as though taking in the calm before the storm that will inevitably return. The lighthouse's light stands as a beacon in the dark, but now the world beyond is shifting with the promise of a new day. But before the keeper can completely relax, there is one last round of maintenance. The light needs to be checked, the machinery adjusted, and the equipment logged for the night. As he moves to tend to the flame one final time, he finds himself lost in thought. What is it that keeps him going? What drives a man to embrace such a life of solitude, of unbroken routine, day after day, year after year? Historians have long pondered this very question. Was it the lighthouse itself, a structure of lasting importance? Was it the sense of purpose, knowing that his watch could save lives? Or was it something deeper, perhaps, the peaceful, meditative isolation, the chance to focus solely on one task, uninterrupted by the noise of the outside world? The keeper may never have fully understood the answer, but in his heart, he knew it was a combination of all of these things. As dawn breaks, the keeper completes his last task. The light is once again steady, and the tower stands tall against the now lightening sky. The first rays of the morning sun touch the stone of the tower, casting a soft glow across the keeper's worn face. The long night is over, and for now, the lighthouse keeper can rest. The shift has ended, but the job never truly stops. Another day, another night. The cycle repeats, and with it, the keeper's dedication to his craft. The lighthouse may stand alone, but it is a beacon to all who sail. The keeper may be solitary, but his work ensures that the world continues to turn, that the ships will always have a guiding light. For the keeper, this is enough. There is no grand recognition, no praise to be given. His work is silent, unseen by most. But in the quiet of the tower, in the peace of the sea's rhythmic hum, the keeper finds meaning, and that is what matters. As the sun rises higher, casting its light across the world, the keeper prepares for the next cycle. The lighthouse will always be there, and so will he, watching, waiting, and ensuring that the light will never fade. As the sun climbs higher in the sky, the keeper finds himself once again in the quiet of his routine. The new day has begun, but for him, it feels like a seamless continuation of the night. The hours stretch out ahead, and though he's completed his morning tasks, there's always more work to do. The sea is calm, but the keeper knows better than to get too comfortable. He knows that, like the tides, his job is ever-changing, never predictable. The lighthouse, despite its solid, unyielding structure, requires constant care and attention. The keeper steps back and observes the tower. The work is done for now, and the light continues to burn steadily, a beacon for anyone out at sea. The constant clicking of the machinery fills the tower, a familiar sound that, in its way, brings peace. It's a sound that has become a part of him, a rhythmic background to his life. In the silence of the lighthouse, with nothing but the soft hum of the light to accompany him, he feels a strange sort of calm. It's a solitude that can feel heavy, yet there's something comforting about knowing exactly what is expected of him. No surprises, no distractions, just the endless cycle of maintaining the light, keeping watch over the sea, ensuring the safety of those who pass by. Historians often reflect on the mental toll of such isolation. How did lighthouse keepers maintain their focus in such a solitary environment? Did the monotony of their days create a sense of peace, or did it lead to a slow unraveling of the mind? The keeper, for his part, never gave much thought to these questions. To him, the work was straightforward. There was comfort in the repetition, in the predictable rhythm of the days. His life, although solitary, has purpose. His responsibility to the light is his primary focus. When a sailor looks out into the night, when a ship sees the beacon in the distance, they see safety, but they don't see the keeper. They don't see the hours of hard work that go into maintaining that light, the weariness that comes with constant vigilance. The keeper doesn't need recognition. The light is his reward. The day goes on, and the keeper tends to his other duties. He sweeps the floors of the tower, checks the equipment, repairs what needs fixing, and keeps the machinery in top working condition. The steady rhythm of these tasks is grounding for him. There's no frantic rush, no looming deadline. Each task is completed with care, and as he finishes each one, the keeper feels a small sense of accomplishment. This, too, is part of the job. As the hours continue to pass, the sky begins to shift. The calm, sunny day starts to fade, and the first signs of evening appear. The keeper knows that the night will soon be upon him again, and with it, the long hours of tending to the light. The cycle is relentless. As the sea shifts, as the winds change direction, the lighthouse keeper must be ready. His job is never done, and that's what keeps him going. Even as the sun sets and the world prepares for rest, the keeper's day is just beginning. The wind begins to pick up, a reminder that even the calmest seas can turn dangerous. The keeper looks out once more over the horizon. There's nothing to fear for now, but he knows how quickly things can change. One moment, the sea is calm. The next, it can be as wild and unpredictable as the storm that passed just days before. That's the nature of the job. Always preparing, always vigilant, always ready for what might come next. As the light begins to fade outside and the darkness of evening descends, the keeper ascends the tower once more. The cycle continues. The light must be lit again. The sea calls. His work is never finished. But in that constant cycle, in the repetitive tasks, the keeper finds purpose. The lighthouse stands tall and unyielding, and he stands with it, ensuring that the light never goes out. Night falls with a steady, predictable rhythm that has become the keeper's life. The dark sky spreads across the horizon, and the first star flickers faintly in the distance. The keeper stands at the top of the tower once again, looking out over the sea. It's a familiar view, the vast expanse of the ocean stretching endlessly before him. The sea is calm now, but he knows that the night holds potential dangers. He has seen it all, the storms that come from nowhere, the sudden shifts in the wind that can turn the tide. The lighthouse stands as a steady beacon, but even it is not immune to the wild unpredictability of the sea. The wind picks up, gusting in from the east. The keeper feels its chill, the salty air whipping around him, and he knows that the night ahead could bring challenges. It's always the same. The storm is never predictable, but the light, the beacon he tends to with such care, is constant. It will remain steadfast, no matter what comes. This is the keeper's role, the heart of his life, keeping the light burning brightly, guiding the ships, and ensuring the safety of those who sail. For the keeper, the solitary life is one of constant vigilance. He is alone in the tower, but he is not truly alone in his work. The sea, the lighthouse, the ship's crew, they are all connected through the light. He stands watch, not just for himself, but for others. This thought, simple as it may be, provides the keeper with a quiet sense of satisfaction. The work is long, the hours unending, but he is making a difference. The ships sailing in the distance depend on him, even if they never know his name, never see his face. The tower creaks slightly as the wind howls outside. The keeper takes a moment to check the flame. He adjusts the fuel, polishes the lens, and ensures that the light is steady. The mechanical hum of the machinery is constant, a soothing background to his efforts. There's no room for complacency. Every detail must be perfect. His job may seem simple on the surface: light the lamp, check the equipment, tend to the machinery, but it is vital work. The lighthouse keeper is the silent guardian of the sea, standing alone in the dark, keeping the light shining. Historians still debate the psychology of lighthouse keepers. How did they cope with such isolation for so many years? Did they find peace in their solitude, or did the relentless nature of the job wear them down over time? For the keeper, the answer is clear. The solitude is part of the job, a necessary sacrifice. It's not about companionship, not about comfort, it's about duty. The light must burn, it always must. And as long as the keeper is there, the light will continue to shine. The hours pass slowly, each minute marked by the flickering of the flame and the steady ticking of the lighthouse's machinery. The storm clouds gather, but they are far off for now. The keeper remains vigilant, his eyes scanning the horizon, always alert. There is no room for distraction, no time for rest. The work must continue. As the night deepens, the keeper settles into the rhythm of the evening. His tasks are simple, but the solitude of the tower presses in on him. He has no company, no fellow keeper to share the load. The silence of the tower is his only companion. But even in this silence, there is purpose. Every movement, every task, is part of the greater whole, the never-ending cycle of maintenance, of vigilance, of tending to the light. The work is his life, and he does it without question, without hesitation. By now, the storm has reached the lighthouse. The wind howls fiercely, and the rain begins to fall heavily against the windows. The keeper adjusts the flame one last time for the night, his hands steady despite the storm raging outside. The storm is here, but the light remains steady. The keeper takes a deep breath, the cool air filling his lungs, and he is ready for whatever comes next. The storm may shake the tower, the sea may roar with fury, but the lighthouse keeper will stand firm. He turns back toward the lantern, making sure the light is still strong and true. The machinery hums with life, the beacon glowing brightly through the storm. It's a comforting sight, a sign that the work is being done. The light will not falter, and neither will the keeper. The storm may pass, the sea may calm, but the keeper will always be here, tending to the light. It is his job, his purpose, and no matter what challenges arise, the keeper will continue to stand watch over the vast, unpredictable sea. As the storm rages on, the keeper stands resolute, staring out at the now wild sea. The wind howls, the rain lashes against the tower, and the lighthouse shakes ever so slightly with the force of the storm. But inside, there is calm. The keeper's hands move with practiced ease, adjusting the light, checking the machinery, making sure everything is in order. The flickering beacon, strong and steady, shines through the storm like a guiding star, never wavering. It is his lifeline as much as it is the sailor's a constant in the chaos, a sign that there is always something stable, even in the worst of times. Despite the fury outside, there's a strange comfort in the routine. The storm may be fierce, but the keeper is not afraid. He has seen it all before: the violent storms, the waves crashing against the cliffs, the howling winds that threaten to tear at the tower. But the lighthouse remains, and the keeper's work continues. There is a certain peace that comes with repetition, a peace that can only be found in the quiet of his tasks, in the soft hum of the machinery, in the warmth of the flame that he tends to with such care. Historians still debate whether lighthouse keepers ever truly adapted to the solitude of their jobs. The isolation, the constant vigilance, the long hours without any company, was it something that wore them down over time, or was it something they embraced, finding solace in their unwavering duty? For the keeper, it is neither a burden nor a joy, it simply is. This is his life, his responsibility, and it has been so for many years. In this moment, he feels at peace. The storm outside is nothing compared to the storm inside his heart, the calm in his chest, as he completes each task with quiet efficiency. As the night progresses, the storm reaches its peak. The waves crash violently, the wind shrieks through the tower, and the rain falls in sheets, but the light never falters. The keeper is tired, his bones aching from the long hours of standing and working, but there is no time for rest. He knows that his role is to stand watch, to make sure the light stays strong and true, guiding those out at sea safely to shore. His duty is clear, and he fulfills it without hesitation. Finally, as the storm begins to subside, the keeper steps away from the lantern and looks out over the sea. The clouds part, and the first light of dawn begins to break through. It is a quiet moment, the calm after the storm. The wind has died down, the rain has stopped, and the sea is beginning to calm. The keeper stands at the window, his eyes scanning the horizon, watching the first rays of the sun slowly illuminate the water below. It's a small victory, one that he has earned through hours of hard work, through sacrifice, through a lifetime spent tending to the light. The storm has passed, the night is over, and the lighthouse remains standing. The keeper may be alone in the tower, but in this moment, as the light shines brightly in the morning sun, he feels a quiet sense of accomplishment. He has done his job, and he has done it well. As the sun rises higher and the day begins, the keeper prepares for another day of work. There will be more tasks to complete, more checks to make, and another night to prepare for. The cycle will continue, as it always has. But for now, in the quiet of the morning, the keeper allows himself a moment of peace. The lighthouse stands firm, the light continues to shine, and the keeper, though weary, knows that his purpose remains unchanged. Now, with the storm behind him and the promise of another night ahead, the keeper steps away from the light. His work is never truly done, but for a brief moment he can rest, knowing that the lighthouse stands strong and the light will guide the sailors safely through the darkness, as it always has. And so, the cycle continues forever, as it has for generations of keepers before him, and as it will for those who come after. The lighthouse will stand, the light will burn, and the keeper will continue his solitary vigil, ever steadfast, ever vigilant, always ready for the next storm.